Hi.
Hi, Misha.
How are you?
I'm great. Everybody knows that you are a great dancer.
Yes.
My friend is a professional dancer, so I'm a little bit jealous, you know?
Yeah.
So could you please teach me some cool dancing moves?
Yes. Yes, I will. I will teach you. Okay. So, the United States of America, which is actually my homeland, my motherland, is a great factory of dance innovation. Some of the most important dance moves in history have come out of the United States. For example, the moonwalk. You're too young to know what the moonwalk is, but that's it. And then my personal favorite, which I will now teach you. For those of you who couldn't see that, that was a backspin. Backspin is a phenomenon that came out of breakdancing. Breakdancing is a phenomenon that came out of black inner city America in 1984. And in 1984, I was, while not black and not from the city, very cool. I was a very cool kid. I had a little tail that came out like right here. And I was very cool. The other kids at school didn't know that. They thought I was a really weird little geek that they didn't want to talk to.
Yeah, I feel you.
So you know what that's like. It felt terrible. But I was a proactive individual, so I had my mother drive me almost an hour and a half into Springfield, where we could get breakdancing lessons. So I took breakdancing lessons from these, really tough black teenagers so that I could come back to school and show the fuckers what was cool. So I got a single Michael Jackson glove for just one hand, and I went to school with a piece of cardboard, because you need cardboard, that's why the backspin didn't work just there. And I demonstrated, to show how cool I was, I demonstrated a backspin on a piece of cardboard with a single Michael Jackson glove on and a headband. I had a bandana around my head. Believe it or not, and this is the weird part of the story, that did not convince my classmates that I was cool. I don't know why, but that didn't work. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a true story. Sadly, a true story.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. My question is mostly for Jared, sorry.
Jensen, I'll go get him.
I'm from Poland and your surname is Polish, so I was wondering, Misha can jump in, I guess, because you have both distinguished weird surnames, and how was it?
You what? You have a weird surname.
No, probably yes. How was it growing up with foreign surname, and how you were bullied by kids, or was it any advantages to disadvantages of the kind of name?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Basically saying, because of our odd surnames, did we get bullied all by kids? Absolutely.
Alright.
Yeah.
Did you have any advantage?
The advantage was that no one could forge my signature because they couldn't spell my name, so.
You can pronounce it correctly either, so.
That's true.
That's true.
I can't. But yeah, I think the advantages are when you're a kid and everybody gets bullied. Everybody gets bullied. And when you're a kid and you get bullied, you kind of have to realize, these kids are stupid. I'm going to ignore them. So it kind of makes you stronger in the long run.
Until you can get big enough to bully them yourself.
Yeah, which is a good feeling. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I also had I still do have a weird first name.
Yeah.
In the States. Not in Russia, not that weird in Russia. But in the US, Misha is a weird name to be called, and Krushnik, which is my real last name, is also an uncommon name. But I got picked on for other reasons, not just my name. That was just the icing on the cake.
It opened the doors for many other very obvious flaws.
Yeah.
That were his fault.
I had a somewhat strange mom who, she sent me to school when I was like 5 in pink tights, things like that, which it didn't go over that well in the classroom. Like, I got picked on a lot, and I didn't quite understand why.
He still wears those pink tights, by the way.
They're very, very tight now, though.
Except for in the crotch. So crotch translates. Awesome. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Hi, my question is,
You don't know your question. My question is, shit, I left it in China.
what do you think of each other's name?
I think that we go together very well, like bread and butter, the two of us.
Like black bread and caviar.
Yes, good call.
No Russians? All right. But I think it's Misha Sasha could be a wonderful little folk duet. No, like a little folk rock duet.
Yeah, we could really make a name for ourselves. I have a brother named Sasha, so the name Sasha holds a very fond place in my heart.
And I have a cousin named Misha.
So we're like family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My brother and I look very much alike.
You?
Yes.
My cousin and I not at all.
No. I was at a convention in Australia. My brother came with me, and I was like just about to go out and do a panel, and I was backstage, and I said, "Sash, take my jacket, take my hat." I was wearing a baseball hat, and he came out on stage and started the panel as me, and everyone was like. It was like, there's something wrong with him, but we don't know what it is.
Bizarro Misha.
He's a little...
Is he younger or older?
He looks different. He's younger, but he looks a little older. It's complicated.
And you know what's funny? My brother calls me Sash too.
Really?
Yeah. This is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here. Okay, thanks for that question.
Up here.
My sister is here. Where are you right now? Oh, she was here. No, she is here. And my old dear friend Darius is here as well, sitting down there. You have anything to add, Darius?
Well, normally what people do in this situation is that they go into all of the awful things about a person, and then they end up talking about all the nice things about a person. I'll start by saying that, Misha's one of the true friends that a person has in life for myself. He's the best. Everything that you think you see on stage, he is. He's the caring, wonderful person. What a dick, though. You know what I mean? I mean, just what a, I met him in 7th grade, and, right from the get-go, is just trouble. When I first met Misha, he was little and chubby, and he was very sweet. And he asked me, when you asked me on the date the first time, he said, "You want to go get pizza and Cool Ranch Doritos after school?" I said, "Sure." But he said, "First I have to do my paper route." Remember? You're such an upstanding citizen, Misha was. He did a paper route. He was really responsible. He wanted to take care of the senior citizens, get them their coupons, you remember. So he had this huge stack of papers that he said, and I said, "Misha, how long is this going to take? Because I'm hungry." And he said, "It's actually a pretty efficient thing." And we went over to a dumpster, tossed the papers in the dumpster. I said, where do you want to eat? Misha, you get paid for this? Yeah. He's like, I do this every day. That's true, isn't it?
This one doesn't work, so I had to take this. There's a follow-up to that story. It was a town crier, free paper. Nobody wanted it, so no one cared. And
I did a documentary on those senior citizens later who didn't get their papers. And believe me, they wanted them.
I ended up at one point having 3 paper outs, and the town crier offices were amazed at my stamina, because I was only 12 at the time. And then my brother, who was 9, got in on the action too, and he got a paper out, and he delivered a little bit further out of town, where there was no dumpster. So basically, they would drop off the papers in front of this housing development, and then he had to deliver it inside the housing development. But he knew how to do it. He started in January, and he would just take his papers and bury them in a snowbank. Come spring, we both got fired.
Hi.
Hi. We got this. You're excited about the pizza, aren't you?
We know you've done a lot of charity work through Random Acts and Gish Wishes and all the amazing other stuff that you do. Is there any other type of charity work that you would like to do if you get the opportunity?
That's a good question. Yes. There was this guy when I was a paper boy, like I was 9 or 10 or something like that, and I was delivering papers, and one of the houses that I delivered to was the home of Mr. Higas, who was this guy who ran the radio station in my hometown when I was a kid. And he was retired, and I met him delivering papers to his home, and he kind of was curious and inquired. Me and my brother showed up one day to collect money because he had been late paying, and I did not tolerate that kind of stuff. And he started asking us questions, and he found out that we were living with a single mom, and he kind of took us under his wing, and he became a sort of surrogate father figure, grandfather figure to us, and he opened up his garage shop. It turns out that back 40 years prior, he had run a workshop when he was much younger for fatherless boys, and taught them how to do woodworking and work with electricity and stuff like that. And he had stopped doing it. He had stopped doing it 25 years before, but he started it up again just for me and my little brother, and he would teach us Chinese and how to make little circuits after school, and we had no money. I haven't thought about Mr. Higas in a long time. We had no money at that point in our lives, and we were actually kind of homeless. We were living in a tent, and he would take us out to dinner at restaurants that we would never imagine being able to go to, and we brought him Christmas presents. When I was 13 years old. We came to his house to bring him Christmas presents, and he had passed away a couple weeks before, and I just broke down crying. I don't know what happened. But thank you for bringing that up. Yes. He was not a teacher, so that wasn't even relevant to your question. So I apologize for falling to pieces in front of you guys. But I'm not. This is completely earnest. I think about him, and I think about Will Ward. When I started Random Acts, it was those guys and a couple of other people in my childhood made such a profound impact on me, and they were. It was completely out of the generosity of their hearts, with no expectation of anything in return. And for them, they were not making huge sacrifices. They were just paying attention, and that's what I want to do with Random Acts. help people, perpetuate that kind of thoughtfulness in the world. So.